raining and cold at my house.
This is gumbo. No, not that. I mean, this is gumbo. Or possibly this. Either the green powder there or the green vegetable. One of those is probably where the name gumbo came from. And I mean, sure, why not name your culture's beautiful classic stew recipe after the ingredient that...
Come along and get yourself some gumbo from the pot. It's good for all that ails you, and it really hits the spot. Full of all those secret things you'll only find in New Orleans. Come along and get it while it's hot.
Dating back more than 300 years, many believe the West African slave population first created this dish out of hardship. The name gumbo derives from the word kingombo, which is Bantu for okra, popular ingredient. But it was the Choctaw Indians who developed the spicy filet powder, a key additive made from sassafras leaves. And it was the French who laid claim to the thickening agent known as the roux.
We're gonna call this a guinea pig spa day. Yes, you're gonna love it, I know you will. And if you don't love it, that's just too bad, 'cause you're taking a spa day. I notice her hair looks a lot like mine after spa day. She got a great spa day. So there's some things you have to have in a gumbo. One is okra. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. You can't have a gumbo without a gumbo in it. The other one you have to have is some kind of a smoked meat. That's what the slaves gave us. The Indians gave us the spices for a gumbo. Along came the French and put their roux into it, which the Creoles got a hold of and said, what are we supposed to do with raw flour? We have to cook the roux. You have to have gumbo in your gumbo or it's not gumbo. And you have to have roux in your gumbo or it's a soup. Alrighty then, we did a good job here. We've got some good andouille sausage, which I'll talk to you about later, from Zatarain's. Pay the money. How about tasso from Paul Prudhomme? This is the tasso. It's a very, very strong spice and heavily smoked. That's why I don't cook as much with it. Some celery, onions, bell pepper. There's no such thing as too much garlic. I've already taught you how to chop onions. I'm not teaching you again. And then how about the gumbo? Put the gumbo in boiling salt water and then shocked it in ice water and then rinsed it very, very well for those people who don't like certain characteristics of the gumbo. And that is going to go in the pot. I don't like a greasy gumbo either, so let me show you how we're going to get some of the grease out of the gumbo. I cooked this chicken last night. All I did was boil it and debone it, and then I put it in the refrigerator last night. And look at all the chicken fat that came to the top, which I hate the feeling of that. Yuck! How about that? So we're going to take off all that grease from the chicken and not put it in our gumbo to start with. That way, I just have chicken broth that I made last night without chicken grease. Oh, come on now, come get yourself some gumbo from the pot. Good for all that ails you, and it really hits the spot. Full of all those secret things you only find in New Orleans. Come on now and get it while it's hot. There goes what they call on the Food Network, the Trinity. Never heard of such a thing. How about there goes all the tasso in the pot. Everybody in the pot. There goes the andouille sausage. I'm going to talk to you more about that sausage in a few minutes. Everybody in the pot. Love your spa day. There you go, see? Nice, warm spa day. See that? I knew you'd love it. Gonna have a great spa. Oh, gotta wash the hairs. Look at you. I knew you'd love your spa day. What do you want to say, huh? You got something? Now, clearly, if you are roux deficient, you can, this comes from Ville Platte, Louisiana, that counts as Cajun. Or if you just say, screw it, I'm going to cheat, then you can use that too. You can't put cold flour in that hot pot because then it's going to become dumplings, so you have to temper the flour this way. I used about that much of it, mixed it in this hot water with a fork, and now we put a roux in the gumbo. Watch this, stir it in, and every little thing's gonna be alright. Oh, son of a gun, if that's not a good dark roux. I already showed you what color a roux should be, but if you want a darker roux, this comes from Opelousas, Louisiana. I assure you that counts. If you want it even darker, you can be real careful because it's going to turn to chocolate.
The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the skies, also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you.
Oh, we're cooking a roux and making a gumbo. And we got the correct color of our roux. Deeky deeky deek, deeky deeky deek deek. We got the correct color of our... Oh, yeah, nuts. Now what do we see right there? Ha ha! Ha ha! Look at that. Come on, mon cher. Come got yourself some gumbo from that pot. Good for the matter with you. Really hit that spot. Full of all them secret things they only got in New Orleans. Come on, mon cher, come got some wild that's hot. Alright, now I'm going to tell my very, very favorite all-time gumbo story. Some people have heard it before, but that's okay. It bears repeating because it should be repeated. So, a long, long time ago, I lived out in the Peconiers down in South Louisiana, and I raised chickens. That's a true story. My daughter was about 2 years old. I had a little rooster in the yard who decided he was going to become a cock because that's what they do. And so I was cutting a tree branch one day, and my little girl was about 2 years old, walking across the yard minding her own business. That guy decided to come from across the yard and chase her, and they have a spur on their foot on their heel about that long. If you've never been chased by a chicken, you don't know what I'm talking about. If you have been chased by a chicken, you've never forgotten it. I saw that out of the corner of my eye, and I had a tree branch in my hand. Whop! That chicken got whopped with that tree branch. My reaction was a lot faster in those days. That son of a gun lived as long as it took me to get to the shed and get the machete. I cut his head off, and I plucked him and gutted him and put him in a gumbo pot. A lot like this one. The best gumbo I ever ate. He was delicious.
Say, son, what do we got brewing in here? I was walking by when I picked up the smell of 11 herbs and spices. Look at that boy, running all around like a chicken with his head cut. Wait a minute.
Is there any more? Oh, I think it's enabled me to fly. And I can see through walls. And I don't feel terribly well. Oh dear.